What are the two titles of those books?
Sure. So I have The Digital Citizen's Guide to
Uh-huh.
Cybersecurity, and I have Chalk Dust to Digital Trust.
What do they each talk about?
Sure. Digital Citizen Guides to Cybersecurity was actually inspired by a digital learning day that I did in October of 2019, right before COVID, for 4th and 5th graders.
Okay.
I was asked to talk about cybersecurity to 10-year-olds. And
That's how you measure if you could do this efficiently or not.
Exactly. And of course, you give me a challenge and I'm going to step up. And so it was an interesting experience because it was an underserved community. When I went to prep for it, the principal of the school said to me, don't expect much from the students. They're brown students, brown and black students, and you're a middle-aged white woman walking in, and don't expect they're going to respond to you. And I was like, first of all, I couldn't believe that actually was
These
the
are the words coming out of
conversation.
your mouth.
Exactly. But second of all, I was like, now that's an even more of a reason to prove you wrong. Wow. It was the most inspiring day of my life.
Why is that?
It literally changed the course of my career.
Huh.
Because I walked in, these kids were all full of energy. They were so excited of the fact that they didn't have to be in the classroom and they were all in the library. And I started talking about various different topics like cyberbullying, identity, identity theft. I was talking about clickbait, and I didn't use the word, but in all 4 sessions I said, and sometimes we were talking about how to identify news versus opinion.
Okay, yeah,
Showing them the URL and sources. I wanted them to learn that, like, you can't believe everything you read online. And I said, and on the side, sometimes they'll put these crazy pictures and these weird titles, and they want you to click on it. And every single time, at least 1 or 2 kids yelled out, "Oh, that's clickbait." And it was like, yeah, actually, I was beside myself. I couldn't believe they knew so much.
Yeah, you didn't have to say the term.
100% of the kids in every class was connected to the internet through some sort of device, and that was in 2019. None of them had any oversight. Nobody ever taught them how to protect themselves from predators.
Yes.
And we, in a very age-appropriate way, we did talk about bad people that go online and pretend to be, and they all they knew there were bad people out there, but they were still on these, especially the gaming devices, they were still out there doing their thing.
Roblox.
With no oversight. And so after the event, and the kids were hugging me when they left. It was so great. It was so great.
The total opposite as to what he told you.
And I kind of like wanted to thumb my nose at the principal, like, you don't even know your kids. You don't know what they need, right? So after the event, I had several of the administrators and the teachers come up to me and say, I didn't even know what you were talking about. Like, most of what you were talking about with these kids, I had no idea what you were talking about.
Wow, really?
And so I said to myself, when I left, I was like, I need to do something to help parents, teachers, grandparents, aunts, uncles, whatever, to teach their children and their students the right and wrong way to conduct themselves online, because we're never going to stop people from being on social media and all the things. We even talked about like ingesting positive versus negative content, like, and curating
that algorithm.
A positive algorithm. Like, they understood all of it.
That's crazy.
So that was the impetus for that book, and it's a long story, and I'm sorry, but it's probably one of the proudest moments that I've ever had. In that I connected with the important people, in my opinion, the most vulnerable people in our digital citizen world, right, is the young kids. And so every chapter has a checklist of things that parents can do with their kids. I actually even created an acceptable use agreement.
Oh, really?
That parents can sit down with their students or their children, and I gave them guidelines, but they can change it however they want and say, what's an acceptable way, an appropriate way for me to conduct myself online.
Wow.
And you have a checklist of things. And so, and how to lock down your cell phone and lock down your social media accounts. Every chapter has something that they can do. And it's in very, very layman's terms, very anecdotal. I even talk about sharenting, where parents overshare about their kids and their kids have no say in it.
Yeah.
And then when their kids grow up, all this content.
That's this information and data on me online.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know a lot of parents that refuse to put their kids' faces online.
Which is appropriate, right? It's appropriate.